The Lovers Pentacle, Chapter 25, Page of Cups. It was nice and toasty, just the way he liked. He sunk into the bath, and he stretched his elegant limbs. Sighing with relief, he said, "This is the life." Kain played with the soap bubbles for a bit, and he stretched his hand to take his cell phone, and he answered a few text messages. Carina had already landed in Colombia, and she sent photos of random items from the gift shop at the hotel, and she needed to know if there was anything he liked. He looked up the conversion of Colombian pesos to dollars, and he opted to get a hand-painted cityscape, and he also asked for a little bust figurine and a statuette of Blas de Leso, a couple of shirts, a hat, a hand-stitched wallet, a refrigerator magnet, and a stuffed toucan. He got a similar message from his father Jack and his ex-girlfriend Eugenia, and Kate felt happy that his friends and family were thinking about him, and he sent Carina a selfie to show her that he was roosting in the bathtub, and Carina sent Kain a similar photo of herself in the jacuzzi with Bruno. "You should send that photo to a girl you like," tested Carina. "There isn't any girl I like at the moment," tested Kain. "And how about a girl that you're remotely interested in?" suggested Carina. "I am kinda interested in Lola, but she's married," tested Kain. Do you know if she's married?" "Do you know if she's married?" asked Carina, and she added, "She could be a widow who probably wears her wedding ring out of sentimentality." "A woman who wears a wedding ring isn't looking for a man, even if she's a widow," said Kain. "I suppose," said Carina, "and maybe you should send that photo to Natasha. She seems fun." "Natasha scares me," tested Kain, "and she probably won't agree to date me because Oberon likes me." "Are you certain he likes you?" asked Carina. "Every time we happen to sleep inside the same residence, he tries to steal a kiss. He still hasn't worked out the courage to kiss me yet, but the fact that he keeps trying proves to me that he likes me," said Kain. "And have you talked to him about it?" asked Carina. "No," said Kain. "Do you want me to talk to him about boundaries?" asked Carina. "I'd rather you didn't. If he does get the courage to kiss me, then we will talk about it. But until it happens, I'd rather just leave things the way they are," said Kain. "Oberon has always respected my personal space. I trust in Carina. And how are things with Bruno?" "Everything is perfect, like Carina." "Trouble in paradise already? And why must you always fight during the vacation?" asked Kain, teasing Carina. "I wasn't fighting with him. It is just that we started talking about the past, and I brought up his ex-girlfriend, and now he's moody," said Carina apologetically. "My grandpa used to say that word is silver and silence is golden. You're always going to regret what you say, but never the truth you keep silent," said Kain. "That's debatable," said Carina. "Had Malik told you the truth years ago, we wouldn't be in this mess." "So you consider your relationship with Bruno a mess?" asked Kain. "No, it's just that I can't help but to think of what could have been. I mean, Kain, I ended up my relationship over one stupid blurry photo," said Carina. I would have believed Malik had he told me the truth back then, though I suppose the old Malik preferred to live a lie than to process the truth," said Kain. "I gotta go, Kain," said Carina. "Good night, and don't stay up too late." Kain saw the time, and it was indeed getting pretty late, and he tested Malik to see if he was still awake, and Malik didn't answer the text message. He had gone to bed early. He received a text message from Alexia, and he had arrived to Tokyo with his husband, and after spending almost an entire day on the plane, he was reevaluating all of his life choices. His husband had spent the entire plane ride writing, and the only time he acknowledged Alexia's existence was when he asked for a quick pick-me-up in the bathroom. And Alexia eventually called Kain in order to hear another human's voice. And Alexia whined about his boyfriend Byron for half an hour. And Alexia eventually got tired of complaining. He hung up the phone in order to explore the hotel. Kain answered a few other text messages, and the only person who didn't give signs of life was Oberon. Heck, even Natasha had answered his text message. I don't know why you're ghosting me again, Oberon, but it is getting old, said Kain's message, and I thought we had gotten past it, and we're getting along just fine up until yesterday, and whatever happened, I am sorry if I said or did anything to offend your sensibilities, and I can't make amends if you don't tell me what I did wrong. Oberon hadn't reheard the message, and he said to himself, you didn't do anything wrong, Kain. I am the one with the problem. Oh, for crying out loud, just call him already, said Natasha. Not yet. I will call him when I'm ready to speak to him, said Oberon, clenching his fist. Natasha took Oberon's phone and she dialed back, and Oberon tried to recover his phone, but Natasha gave him the run about the kitchen. Oberon, said Kain, smiling happily. Oberon. Natasha placed it on speaker for Oberon to hear Kain's voice, and Oberon folded his arms before rubbing his shoulder. He was fighting the urge to answer the phone call. Oberon, are you alright? Asked Kain. Oberon, you asshole. I bet you think you're being real funny right now, but you're not. Answer me, don't answer me, I don't care anymore. Kain, hello, how are you? Said Oberon, finally answering the phone, and he added, I am sorry, Natasha's niece has been playing with my phone all day, so that is why I wasn't able to get any of your calls. Oh, it's fine, don't worry about it, said Kain, choosing to believe the lie. And he asked, did you enjoy sailing? It was fun. I tried fishing again, didn't catch anything, said Oberon. And we also went snorkeling, and we saw a couple of reef sharks, and it's a good thing that they sleep in the morning. Once Kain had his fill of listening to Oberon's voice, he said, talk to you tomorrow then, and if Natasha's niece allows, that is. Good night, Kain, said Oberon before kissing the phone. He turned as red as a tomato when he realized the blunder he made. Good night, Oberon, mwah, said Kain, making his own kissy sound before hanging up the phone. He poured more hot water into the tub, and he placed a rag over his eyes to take a nap. And he was far too cozy to crawl into the bed, and his nap was short-lived. The doorknob of the bathroom was rattling, and he removed the rag in order to face the intruder, and before he had a chance to react, the door slammed open, and he gasped, for there was nobody there, and the door had opened by itself, and his heart began beating quickly as his mind tried to process what he had just seen. It was then when Thibault jumped on top of the edge of the tub, and Kain screamed at the top of his lungs, and the cat observed him with cool amusement. Thibault began to play with the soap bubble, and it was then when Kain remembered that Thibault knew how to open doors. He needed to lock the door to keep the stupid cat from interrupting his bath. The stupid cat nearly gave me a heart attack, said Kain, finally getting out of the bath. He pulled the drain on the bath, and Thibault gave Kain a spiteful look for getting rid of the soap bubbles. You know that look that cats give you when they hate you. The poor cat left the bathroom in search of something to do, and Kain rinsed the soap before drying himself. He jumped straight into bed, and the bedsheets felt warm and cozy, and it didn't take long for him to fall asleep. The balcony window started rattling, and slowly a hand opened it, and Kain attempted to leave the bed, but he felt paralyzed. It didn't matter how much he tried to move, his limbs refused to obey him, and he could only make out the silhouette of the intruder. And when the head turned, Kain saw that the shape of it wasn't human. Rather, it looked like the head of a hawk. It must be a mask, thought Kain, and the intruder noticed that Kain was awake, and when it drew closer, Kain realized that the hawk face wasn't a mask. Kain closed his eyes before opening them again, and what he was seeing was impossible. What he wasn't looking at wasn't real, and when he opened and closed his eyes one last time, the creature had disappeared. And he left the bed wearily, and he checked the balcony door. It was closed, and he fancied that he had suffered a night terror combined with sleep paralysis. He felt something fleshy and warm rubbing up against his leg, and he smiled when he saw that it was Thibault. Are you lonely, Thibault? Do you miss Jeremy? Asked Kain. Yes, said Thibault. Kain never would have imagined that Thibault had such a deep voice. Yes. Why doesn't Jeremy want to be my friend? Asked Kain. New friends will make it harder for him to leave when the time comes, said Thibault. Is it after living with Jeremy? Asked Kain, growing saddened. No, said Thibault. Is Thibault living with Jeremy? Asked Kain. No, Tybalt is leaving right now, said Tybalt, starting to fly. At this point, Kain realized that he was dreaming. Cats don't talk or fly. When he truly awoke, he saw that Tybalt was sleeping on top of his chest. He stretched his hand to pet the cat, but he chose not to. He didn't want to wake it. This time it took longer for him to fall asleep, and he needed to make certain that this time he was in the waking world, and he was starting to drift off again, and he saw a hand trying to open the balcony door. The following morning he awoke to his cell phone ringing. Jeremy was calling to remind Kain that in half an hour he had to take the pets for a walk. "You're so lucky, Tybalt," said Kain, petting the cat that was grooming himself on top of his chest. "I wish I had someone as loyal and devoted as Jeremy." "Meow," said Tybalt. "Oh, what cute little paws you have," said Kain, petting Tybalt's hind paw. "I love you," said Tybalt. "Ah!" yelled Kain, surprised. Tybalt startled, ran away, and Kain dialed Jeremy back. Your cat spoke to me." "Did he tell you I love you?" asked Jeremy, amused. "Yes, how do you know?" asked Kain. "It is a trick I taught him," said Jeremy proudly. "He can also say hello, though it sometimes sounds like melon instead of hello. Meow. You know, like the weird way that cats talk." "Wow, what an amazing cat," said Kain, impressed. "Yes, what an amazing cat," said Jeremy bitterly before hanging up the phone. Kain got dressed and he washed his face and teeth, and he fed the pets before eating a light breakfast, and once they were all together he went on his morning walk. The morning by the beach was chilly and windy, and this was counterbalanced by the burning winter sun. And after walking for half an hour he made it to the beach, and he found in his spot a bouquet of roses. He fancied that the roses were for literally anyone else. A couple probably forgot the bouquet after a night's tryst, and he answered all of his text messages to pass the time. He started sketching. He made a lovely pencil sketch of Tybalt, and he even signed it. He was just that proud of his drawing, and after concluding his pencil sketch, he started walking back to the guest house, and in 2 days it was going to be Christmas, and back when he was little, Christmas used to be his favorite holiday. Santa always brought his father home, and Jack would hide inside a Santa sack, and once Kain was nearby, he would leap out to surprise his son. And that all changed when Jack suffered his first overdose and during Christmas. Kain picked up Marmalade and he petted his dog until all of the bad memories went away. His father was clean now. His father was well now. His father was with a skank Roxana. That skank who wanted Kain to move out of his own home. A jogger ran past him, and Kain moved to the grass to allow the jogger to pass, and the jogger started running in order to study Kain with keen interest. "Are you Jeremy's replacement?" asked the jogger. "Just for the holiday. He's on vacation." That's good," said the jogger. "Do you have Jeremy's phone number? I recently bought a kitten for my daughter, and if Jeremy can add it to his walking rotation, I would really appreciate it." "Kittens are too young to be walked," said Kain. "He can carry the cat in his pocket," insisted the jogger. "I just need to get the cat out of the house for a couple of hours so he won't destroy the furniture." Kain opened his cell phone to call Jeremy, and the jogger took that chance to run off with Kain's phone. Kain wanted to give chase, but he couldn't leave the pets alone. Marmalade was too old to run. Then the jogger copied Jeremy's number before returning Kain his cell phone, and after getting what he wanted, the jogger ran home. Kain fancied that the jogger was probably the shadow he saw at the beach. "I don't really think he has a kitten," said Kain. "Meow," said Tybalt. "He probably has a crush on Jeremy," said Kain before continuing on his way. "Bark," said Coco. "Those roses were probably for Jeremy," guessed Kain, "and I would go back to put them on water, but it is not as if those roses will last long enough for Jeremy to see them." Kain returned for the rose bouquet, and he dusted the sand off, and he looked for a note, but it had been blown away by the wind. And from up close, he was able to appreciate the size of those blue roses. And in the middle of the bouquet, there was a single black rose surrounded by 3 monkey orchids. And he returned to the guest house, and after setting the pets loose and feeding them, he went to the kitchen with the roses. He placed them in a crystal vase he found under the sink, and he poured water into the vase. And once the flowers were watered, he placed the vase in the middle of the coffee table. And that way he would look both at the flowers and the television. When he sat on the couch, he pondered on the meaning of the bouquet. The orchids looked exotic, and he took a photo of the bouquet and he sent it to all his friends. Oberon got excited when he received the photo, and he felt extremely deflated when he saw that Natasha had also gotten the same photo. He made for himself a healthy tomato sandwich with cheese, tomatoes, salt, pepper, arugula, fried onions with delicious chive butter, and spread all over a baguette. And Thibault sneezed the sandwich before immediately losing interest. As a cat, Thibault was an obligate carnivore, so if he didn't have any meat, he wasn't interested in it. Kain flipped to the channels until he found something to watch, and the movie they were playing on HBO was Princess Mononoke, and he had caught the movie around the part where the tree spirit showed up. "I'm having fun, Thibault," said Kain, watching the movie. "Meow," said Thibault, and he jumped on the table to study the bouquet. "Do you like it?" asked Kain. Thibault made eye contact before attempting to move the bouquet with his paw. And since it was heavy, he sat up to put his entire weight against it, and Kain, seeing Thibault's intention, picked up the cat before sitting down again. Thibault coiled himself into a ball before snuggling against Kain. Kain felt the cat's body trembling, and he placed a pillow over Thibault's body to provide extra warmth. "I wish Jeremy would give me his cat," said Kain, speaking his thoughts out loud, and he patted Thibault's chin before saying, "You're such a cupcake. Let me see the little leg. Aw, what a cute little leg." Kain amused himself with petting Thibault's hind leg, and when the cat grew annoyed, he gave Kain a warning bite. The bite wounded Kain's sensibilities, but it didn't cause his wrist to bleed. And before heading out, he got another status update from his friends. They were either partying, sightseeing, gambling, or in the amusement park. His final walk of the day happened uneventfully. He ordered pizza for dinner, and that night he took Thibault to bed, with the cat sleeping on top of him. He had pleasant dreams for a change. Alright, let's see the last chapter. Bye-bye and God bless.